Bell. Right now, the city of Sacramento is facing a $66 million budget deficit for the upcoming fiscal year. And as we speak, city leaders, they need to start deciding what to cut in the budget. Becca Habegger spoke with the mayor and asked him, how did we get to this situation in the first place? And are layoffs coming?
We face a challenge, but it's not an insurmountable challenge.
Sacramento Mayor Darrell Steinberg says the city's projected $66 million budget deficit for the upcoming fiscal year comes as revenues or income remain flat, while spending and expenses related to things like homelessness and cost of living have gone up.
It's a combination of multiple things that have happened over a number of years.
City Finance Director Pete Coletto says his department projected a $24 million deficit back in April, but that estimate did not include pay raises for city workers, since the outcome of contract negotiations with several unions were unknown at the time. Now those labor negotiations are done, and they cost the city $45 million, making up a large chunk of the projected deficit.
The biggest part of a city budget is the cost of hiring public workers. But who are those people? They're your police officers, they're your firefighters. They're the people who maintain our parks.
He says the city needs to remain competitive, and even with the raises, many workers could find higher paying work in other nearby cities.
There are not going to be easy discussions and decisions to be had.
Back at the January 23rd council meeting, city manager Howard Chan said city workers deserve the raises they got, but added,
"It is also true that what we approved and what you all approved and what we've been discussing over the last several months, we cannot afford. It's not sustainable."
For folks who say, look, the elected city leaders, you're the ones who are in charge of approving these costs. And it seems that under your watch, we all of a sudden had a $66 million deficit.
I'm in my 8th year as mayor, and for 7 years, we've had budget surpluses. And so it's a pretty good track record. And now we have a budget problem.
The council will get its next budget update at its meeting on Tuesday. They have 4 months to make difficult decisions.
Do you think it's possible to pass a balanced budget that doesn't include layoffs?
I do. That's certainly going to be our goal. I don't guarantee it, but I think it's possible.
All right, and Becca's with us right now. The city of Sacramento is not alone in this, right?
Yeah, the city points out San Diego, San Francisco, and Oakland are currently facing similar deficits. And the state, as we reported earlier this week, is now facing a $73 billion deficit.
And city leaders, they do want to hear from the public, correct?
Yeah, they'll be announcing next week a series of community meetings to be held in March. They want to hear the public's priorities and ideas about possible cuts.
And before we go, I do want to ask you, does the city have a rainy day fund like the state does, just for clarification?
Yes, but the finance director says it's designed for a recession. Whether they dip into it this time around is up to the council, but this deficit is not the result of a recession, the finance director points out. It is simply a matter of spending more than the city is taking in.
All right, Becca, thank you so much. Of course, we will keep you updated. And as a reminder, voters in Sacramento will be voting on the city's next mayor in the March 5th primary election. There are 6 candidates. Unless one candidate gets more than 50% of the vote, the top 2 vote getters will advance to the general election in November. We sat down with all 6 candidates. You can watch their full interviews on our website, abc10.com/election.